welcome all participants to this virtual session, the last for the year, English West Africa Administration e-Forum. I would like to first place on record my appreciation to each and all of you who were activities of 20th December. 10 days ago, when my children organized the 5th birthday celebration, and to which all were invited, and quite a good number were present here with us in Rosicrucian Park, Calabar. My wife and I are still dumbfounded by the awesome response and participation. I pray for God's manifold blessings upon each and all of you who, by messages, gifts, phone calls, emails, and appreciation of this occasion, got in touch with us, participated with us, and from all the reports we've had so far, have returned home safely. This is the last e-forum we have for this calendar year 2021, and it is our hope that in order not for it to be too near, our first one for next year will be the last Thursday of January. There will be advanced announcements relating to this, and future forums that we may have, at least for the first quarter of 2022. At this point, I'm requesting that you please sit relaxed and for a few seconds, be at ease with yourself so that we can unite in prayer. God of our hearts, God of our realization, we are thankful for the many blessings of this year that is gradually now coming to an end. The blessings of good health, happiness, of peace, in a tumultuous and turbulent world. We acknowledge your presence with us throughout this virtual session and ask that we be receptive to your divine inspiration and guidance throughout this forum, so that what we share and learn from one another and from your divine inspiration may be of benefit to us now and in the coming years. So mote it be.
So mote it be.
And so here we are at the threshold of the beginning of a new calendar year. A new year can be likened to a clean sheet of paper on which we narrate the story of our lives. Naturally, we want to be able to contemplate our future aspirations as well as we ruminate over the events of the year ending. Obviously, we do not need to wait until the end or the beginning of a new year to do this. One always reflect upon life generally at any day and time without waiting for a year to end. However, the tradition of using the last few days of a year to reflect on the outgoing year and making resolutions for the coming year is certainly a good one. And it has become an established practice by our acceptance of it. Through the united power of our minds, the last few days of each year, and especially the very last day, have been set aside and considered to be the most auspicious time to redirect our personal affairs. As we know in our Rosicrucian teachings, mind assigns dimension. Unfortunately, many people pass through this period without taking advantage of the opportunity it offers for both self-improvement and progress in life. Trying to improve ourselves inevitably involves starting something new on the path of self-mastery. The topic for this discussion today's forum is a life of new beginnings. We have discussed the principles behind initiating new endeavors in our life, or in simple English, how to apply our understanding of this principle towards achieving our goals. This may be the goals we set for ourselves today, tomorrow, in the coming year, or the years to follow. From a mundane point of view, our lives begin at birth. As our lives unfold, we find that we have many more beginnings to encounter throughout lives. We may not have thought of life experiences in this way before, so it is worth mentioning a few of them to buttress the point. When a baby, a newborn baby, after a few days begins to crawl, access to a whole new world is opened up. With a heightened curiosity present at this stage of development, parents have to be watchful because the newly found mobility makes the baby go after everything in sight. Hearing a baby utter a meaningful word for the time is for those who witness it. The major characteristic of the human race. It distinguishes us from other animals. However, as we all know, we are not born speaking a language. We must learn and be introduced to that sphere of communication. As we learn to speak a language, a vast dimension. Our first day in school, our first day of employment, our wedding day, our first day as a parent, these are all major beginnings in the course of our lives. In between these major events, there are many minor events, which also, of course, have significant
Distinguished fratres and sorors, friends of our beloved order, we seem to be having a bit of technical glitches from the location of our Grandmaster. Please, you will bear with us for the time being. We'll use this opportunity to remind us of the housekeeping rules, which remains. The microphones are muted to avoid holdback effects, and in line with cybersecurity policy, anonymous questions will not be attended to. What we actually mean with that is your devices should have your name, not the brand name. And to ask a question, kindly utilize the Q&A feature on your screen. To leave a comment, please utilize the chat area. And to speak, if time permits, kindly utilize the raise your hand feature on your screen. We also want to, or we request that we keep the questions narrowed down to the topic and discussions for tonight. And like I also mentioned earlier, we are live on Instagram and YouTube. Both handles remain Amok Nigeria. You can share with our members who are not here, as well as friends of the order who are also not here. You can also subscribe to these channels, especially the YouTube channels, so you could go back for videos and previous sessions we had, including this one. Also, subscribe to our Facebook channel and our LinkedIn page. Okay, so while we are still waiting for our grandmaster to join us here, we would like to acknowledge the presence of everyone that has joined us from far and wide. We have people from the United States, from the UK, from Cameroon, and of course, Nigerians here in Nigeria, or those of us living in Nigeria. We appreciate all of you for joining us this time. Frater Ejo, please confirm you can hear me.
Nefertiti, I can hear you very audible.
All right. Okay. I wanted to put you on the spot, but it's like our grandmaster is back. Our most worthy grandmaster, please confirm you can hear me now.
I can hear you, and I'm just wondering up to what point you had me.
Ooh.
Up to what point, what was the last thing you heard me say?
Or would you want to take it from mind and science dimension?
I'll do that if you wish, but I could backtrack a little bit more so it flows with everybody. Let us hope that we now have a stable network. we've had some challenges.
The GM's view is on.
I need to give me a little more time. I need to see where we are network-wise. Yes, still coming on and off.
Okay. Okay, that's fine, sir. That's fine. Fata Ejo, please confirm you can hear me now.
Yes, I can hear you, Sir Nefertiti.
Thank you so much. You already know what we're discussing about. You know the topic. A life of new beginnings. Would you want to share in while we await the Grandmaster?
Sir Nefertiti, I wouldn't want to preempt the Grandmaster, but
Oh, you're not preempting. You're not preempting, actually.
Yeah, a life it's actually a very poignant topic. It's apt, considering the fact that we are at the cusp of a new mundane year, which presents us with a unique opportunity to chart the right course for our lives, to also review what we could have done better in the preceding year, and opportunities to make amends, to improve. Just before the Grandmaster had challenges, technical challenges, he did mention mind assigning dimension, which is it's something we know too well. It's a phrase that is known very well in our Rosicrucian teaching. But the fact that the Grandmaster mentioned it indicates that it's something that we might, or most of us might, take for granted. And since we are at the cusp of a new year, this might be another opportunity for us to pay particular attention to the practical application of this particular phrase. As we begin the new year, what are those things we would like to achieve? What are those improvements we would like to make? What are those things we could have done better? So I am listening with rapt attention to this topic, because the Grandmaster, he has a lot to share with us.
Exactly.
Thank you very much indeed, Nefer and Ejo. Can you hear me now, and can you see me on the screen?
We can see you. We can hear you.
We can see you, sir. We can hear you, sir.
Okay. Let me, with apologies for the internet challenges we have faced these last few minutes, tell us that I can just go summarize the first few lines and continue. Let me hope that you are all with me. I have Okay, I've commenced by saying that we are at the beginning of a new year, at the close of an old year, yielding to a new year. And that a new year can be likened to a clean sheet of paper, which offers us an opportunity to write things regarding to our aspirations in the future and all that. And then I said the tradition of using the last few days of the year to reflect on the outgoing year and making resolutions for the coming year is certainly a good one, and is endorsed by Rosicrucians as a customary practice. And that through the united power of our minds, each last few days of an outgoing year offers an opportunity, and in fact, the most auspicious time to redirect our personal affairs, as is customary with us. Unfortunately, many people pass through this period without taking advantage of the opportunity it offers for self-improvement. And that trying to improve ourselves inevitably involves starting something new. And in the course of this forum, which I say we should devote to a life of new beginnings, begin a process of self-mastery and how to walk this principle for ending an old year and starting a new one. From a mundane point of view, our lives begin at birth. As our lives unfold, we find that we have many more beginnings to encounter throughout our lives. We may not have thought of our life experiences in this way before, so it is worth mentioning a few of them to buttress the point. When a baby begins to crawl, for instance, access to a whole new world is opened up. With the heightened curiosity present at this stage of development, parents have to be watchful because the newly found mobility makes the baby go after everything in sight. Having a baby utter a meaningful word for the first time is always a joy for those who witness it. The ability to convey our innermost thoughts and feelings through language is a major characteristic of the human race. It distinguishes us, ladies and gentlemen, frazzles and sorrows, from other animals. We all know that we are not born speaking a language. We must therefore learn and be introduced to that sphere of communication. As we learn to speak a language, a vast dimension of the human experience becomes available. Our first day in school, our first day of employment, our wedding day, our first day as a parent, these are all major beginnings in the course of our lives. In between these major events, there are many minor events which we also have in our life experiences as significant beginnings. Examples are many and occur every day. The commencement of a conversation, for instance, is a beginning. Commencement of a meal, articles we read, the programs we watch, journeys we embark upon, all these have beginnings and endings. If we add to this the beginning of a year or of a month, of a week or of a day, we will very soon come to the realization that every moment is a beginning. When we are at the threshold of a new activity or experience, we are likely to have some expectations of where we are heading to. These may be expectations of success, prosperity, health, or happiness. On the other hand, we may be fearful of failure or loss of material or emotional well-being. If we have a plan for the future, our first step in executing our plan is usually empowered with feelings of optimism. A plan is like a roadmap that leads us to a desired destination. So it is natural to feel some accomplishment with the very first step we take in carrying it out. On the other hand, if we find ourselves at the beginning of an unplanned activity, We may feel intimidated by our lack of preparation or ignorance about what is involved. When faced with the unknown, it is a natural human instinct to become fearful or filled with trepidation. As we go through life, however, we will find ourselves from time to time in such situations. You may arrive at your office, for instance, only to unexpectedly find a letter of termination on your desk. The opposite could also be true. You may find a letter of promotion or of warning. You may be facing the end of a marriage at home. You may suddenly find you have a terminal illness from a medical diagnosis. What do? After praying to God for cosmic intervention, the next thing to do is to come up with a plan for a different direction to achieve a new set of goals. As soon as you start to implement your plan, you will experience a significant degree of inner stability, very distinct from if you were planless or not prepared for a challenge. In your new year ahead, if your new year ahead is an unknown to you, you may be inwardly apprehensive, fearful, or at best feel helpless as to what the future may hold. Brothers and sisters, you can easily rise above this unpleasant feeling by developing a plan for the new year. A good plan, apart from making us feel better, helps us achieve greater things in life. As we begin the new year, we are ending the old year. As we end an old year, we are beginning a new year. I mean, every day we have the experience of midnight ending the day we have been in and ushering in a brand new day. So every beginning is an ending, and every ending heralds another beginning. So this is portrayed, if I may share this with you, in an ancient mystical symbol called the Ouroboros. The Ouroboros is the symbol of a serpent forming a circle as it consumes its own tail, a snake that swallowed its tail. It is, in effect, alluding to a profound universal principle in many ways. We can apply this principle in our lives by considering the fact that by introducing something new in our lives, we are also at the same time inevitably bringing some other things to an end. The limitation of time, with only 24 hours in a day, makes it necessary to displace some things in the day if we want to carry out additional activities. For example, if we wish to study, to gain knowledge, we must take that time out of the time available to us. We will find that we have to displace some other existing activity. It may be some of the time we have allocated for rest, sleep, recreation, exercise, or some special work, etc. Even what we may call idle time has its uses. In so-called idle moments, when the mind is not occupied or engaged, it may be inspired with new ideas. If we can carefully choose what we need to sacrifice for the new activity, there will be a much better chance for success. To try to continue doing everything we have been doing, in addition to the new things we wish to do, will obviously lead to frustration. However, you will be surprised how many people make this mistake. In economics, for instance, there is a term called opportunity cost. Everything we do has a cost in the lost opportunity of doing something else. We should evaluate the opportunity cost of the new things we wish to do and be ready to bring certain things in our lives to an end, or at least curtail them in order to make room for the new ones we have decided to do. All that I've said so far about planning and evaluation with regard to the attainment of our goals and aspirations falls under the subject of contemplation, interrelation of thought. This is one point of the triangle of meditation, contemplation, and concentration, which all work together to bring about the manifestation of our fondest hopes and desires. When we have contemplated and have come to clear resolutions of what we intend to do, we must also consider the consequences of achieving our desires. We must understand that through our desires, that though our desires are ends we hope to gain, they will also bring about new beginnings. We must be prepared for them. For example, if you have been unemployed and now have gotten a new job, you may find that you may have to begin to take up or share some of the financial responsibilities in the family that you have previously been excused from. If you get married, for instance, you will find that you will have to begin to interact closely with your in-laws as members of your family, because with marriage, you have extended the frontiers of your immediate or former family. If you buy a new car, for instance, you will have to begin to take it to a filling station for fuel and budget accordingly, or to an automobile workshop for servicing and budget accordingly, as well as assist fellow humans with a ride sometimes. Once we have clearly understood our goals and are comfortable with their consequences, we should apply concentration to bring them into manifestation. One of the ways of applying concentration is in the practice of creative visualization. This is done by using our imagination to mentally create what we wish to achieve with such clarity and completeness that we have an inner realization of its manifestation. The details of how to carry out this exercise effectively are, of course, covered in the Rosicrucian teachings. However, we can only master it through frequent practice. In visualization, we focus on the end of what we wish to achieve without considering how we wish to begin or the processes involved in achieving the goal. The visualization itself is, in fact, the beginning of the process of our achievement, even as we focus on the end. The best strategy or process will be revealed to us by cosmic intelligence, but we must be receptive and ready to act on the promptings that may come from a variety of sources. It may be an idea that comes into our mind in the form of a flash, an inspiration, or something that we may read from an article or watch in a video. It may be a suggestion from a friend or something we overhear in a conversation between strangers. Wherever it comes from, when we receive the message, we must act on it. And when we act, we must do so with concentration and focus. Finally, at the third point of the triangle, to become more receptive to cosmic guidance in our lives, we should also practice meditation. The practice of meditation, as we all know, Francis and Feroz, involves sitting comfortably and quietly for a period of time during which we slow down our mental activity. During some sessions, we become a little passive and begin to sense more keenly the vibrations of the cosmic mind within and around us and grow in our sensitivity to it. From the foregoing, we should hopefully be able to appreciate the interconnectedness between meditation, concentration, and contemplation, and how they apply to the attainment of our goals in life. Let me at this time share with you my customary or traditional closing admonitions on New Year resolutions. as we end one year and it yields to another, we should reflect, ponder, pause, contemplate, bearing in mind that if we plant or sow seeds of light, life, and love, if we plant or sow seeds of good thoughts, good words, and good deeds as our personal philosophy of life, as our way of life, we can imagine how lovely our own world can be. We should resolve individually and collectively and at all times to continue to sow good seeds in life by our good thoughts, good words, and good deeds. When discussing how to end a new year and how to end an old year and how to commence a new one, and make resolutions along those lines, we tend to think in terms of improving our character by dumping bad habits and replacing them with good ones. Frequently, we hear chain smokers thumping their chest that they must quit smoking. Some persons assuring themselves that they must minimize their alcohol intake, yet others assuring their families that henceforth they will avoid staying outdoors till late in the night and try to make a habit of returning home early each day. Contemplation upon old year yielding to a new year may lead us also to make resolutions in the area of improving our work attitude in the office, improving on our attitude at home towards spouse, children, siblings, improving upon our interpersonal relationships with fellow humans, as well as skill acquisition, developing new skills, gearing up for greater satisfaction in business, as well as imposing upon ourselves, howbeit without discomfort, personal financial discipline. This may include also resolutions along the line of diligent in study, in some academic pursuit, or a rededication to spiritual ideals. We often make resolutions to stick to a certain diet, for instance, by learning to eat what may not be so sweet if that is in the interest of our health. By learning to take something we are not used to, as well as avoidance of certain indulgences to improve our health, happiness, overall well-being, and personal peace. Based on our sense of values, I recommend that whatever your own personal sense of values may be, you highlight and write down your New Year resolutions in order of preference or priorities as meditation or prayer points. If we agree that every day and every sunrise is a new beginning, and that every night or every sunset is an end introducing yet another beginning, then we may also accept that a resolution may be made any day of the year. However, for the major life goals we pursue, as has been previously elaborated upon, they are best made at one's birthday or the natural new year, which is on or about the 21st of March, or about the 1st of January, the Gregorian calendar. Write all your New Year resolutions down with a view to seeing yourself a better person than you are currently. We are still in 2021, albeit just a few hours to go. And so you can visualize a better you in 2022 and work hard towards actualizing your visualization. You will be surprised how the universe will reciprocally rearrange itself to fulfill your noble expectations. In conclusion, we should take advantage of this special period, the dying hours of an old, worn-out year, to plan for specific things we wish to achieve in the new year. We should contemplate deeply on these and also consider the consequences that this will have on us when achieved. We should understand that certain things will have to be displaced to accommodate our aspirations. We may then employ the technique of creative visualization to focus on the end that we want to achieve. As we gradually enter a new year, we must concentrate on implementing our plans while being receptive to cosmic guidance. By practicing meditation on a regular basis, we'll keep ourselves in harmony with the cosmic, the universal consciousness of God, and thereby greatly improve our chances of success. Now, at this point, I want us all to sit relaxed wherever we are. If you are standing, make sure you are relaxed and that you are able to breathe in deeply and exhale slowly without holding the breath when you breathe in or holding out when you breathe out. Just in and out until you find yourself in a state of equipoise balance. Begin now to feel so much at ease with yourself as if to say, the night of darkness is yielding to the light of a new day. Forget about all sorrow and sadness and bad news and concentrate upon the good news that there is a new day, a new year ahead of us. And do this with a feeling of gratitude for the gift of life and the gift of consciousness. And now, begin to raise your consciousness and awareness from your feet through your knees, your waist, your abdomen, kidneys, lungs, heart, feel yourself relaxed throughout your body, even as you feel your neck, and focus for a moment on the center of your head. And now visualize yourself in preparation for attunement to the celestial sanctum inside the spherical ball of light, life, and love. And with the first deep breath, acknowledge the light of God within you and around you, so that when you are ready to exhale, your entire being and your auric field is charged with the brilliance of divine light. And now, with the second deep breath, acknowledge the breath of life, the vital life force, the breath of God within you and around you. And so that when you are ready to exhale, your entire being and your auric field becomes charged with the vitality of divine life. Finally, with the third deep breath, acknowledge the love of God, which has enabled us all the days of our lives to experience goodness. And so that when we are ready to exhale, our entire beings and auric fields become charged with the sublimity of divine love. Thus imbued with the light, life, and love of divine effulgence, let us unite in invocation. May the divine essence of the cosmic infuse our beings and cleanse us from all impurities of mind and body, that we may attune with the celestial sanctum in pureness and perfect dignity. So mote it be. And now visualize yourself ascending above your head in consciousness, rising beyond the building where you are, beyond your hamlet, your village, your town, your city, beyond the country where you are, beyond the clouds, into that atmosphere whose serenity assures you that you are in your celestial sanctum. This sanctum is over, above, and beyond the various spheres of a physical nature. And yet, as above, so below, as without, so within. It is within you. And it's to it you go every day, anytime you want, to commune with your innermost being, to commune with the God of your heart, the God of your realization, the God of all creation. In the serenity of this place, try to recollect some positive events that have taken place in your life over the past 24 hours, and reflect and contemplate this with gratitude. Go back in time to the past 1 week, the past 1 month. Some positive events in your life for which you are grateful. And now, reflect on the positive events of your life over the past 1 year. From the month of January 2021 till this moment. Things that have happened for which you are immensely grateful. There may have been some negatives, but at this moment, we want to end this year Now, let us unite in prayer. God of our hearts, God of our realization, in whose consciousness we live and move and have our being. We are thankful for the many blessings of life. And at this moment, for the blessings of an old year yielding to a new year. In thy light, life, and love, may we experience light, life, and love. Grant us the consciousness of oneness with each other. Harmonize and enrich our hearts and minds with your divine love and goodness. And let our resolutions to be better than we are receive your approval in the areas of self-improvement, self-mastery, and our capacity to harbor good thoughts, utter good words, and perform good deeds for a better humanity. May our commitment to service in the new year we're about to enter be blessed with your divine empowerment to your glory, the good of all, and the evolution of our soul personalities. So much it be. And now, let us gradually return through the same channels of our ascent back to the objective mundane world. Back to our physical bodies, the temple of the soul. And now, may the grace of God sanctify our individual and collective attunement with the celestial sanctum. So much it be. And now, I wish you all happy, healthy, peaceful, and prosperous New Year, 2022. Thank you. I will accept a few comments and maybe one or two questions.
Okay, thank you very much, our most worthy Grand Master. Beloved fratres, sorors, and friends of our beloved order, we have listened to our most worthy Grand Master talk to us on a life of new beginnings. And he has told us the importance of planning, taking responsibility for our lives, using the new year to become better, and having the courage to initiate new beginnings, enlisting the aid of the cosmic in assisting us achieve our goals of becoming better. Planning for the ensuing year gives us inner stability to live the new year. And then he also talked about the importance of focusing our consciousness on the positive things that have happened in our lives, rather than dwelling on negative thoughts, events, and experiences. Note that he ended with an attunement with the celestial sanctum. He always ends with an attunement with the celestial sanctum, meaning that proper alignment with the cosmic and the God of our heart is critical in living our lives effectively, especially in the new year. So, beloved fratres and sirs, at this time, we are open for questions and comments. Please remember the housekeeping rules. We would actually request or prefer you drop your questions in the Q&A area and comments in the chat area. We would try to reduce people speaking directly. As you've noticed, we are experiencing network glitches. So let's just try to keep it simple. Most worthy Grandmaster, we have a question from Chinedu Shlomo. Worthy Grandmaster, does the cycle of the calendar year affect our own cycle of life? If yes, how?
All cycles affect us, and we too impact on all cycles. All cycles are interconnected or interrelated in some specific ways. And whether it is personal issues or it is collective, communal, national, or global issues, the cycles of the regular calendar year definitely affect every human being on Earth, going by that calendar as a specific calendar of reference. How will we not be? I mean, there are other calendars, of course, the Chinese calendar, you know, and so on and so forth. But, you know, talking generally, there is a switch from one year to another, come December 31, yielding to January the 1st. And so that affects many things in our personal planning. On the other hand, we know that on the day we were born, we have commenced another year. And we enter the first period of our annual cycle, which lasts for some 52 days before another cycle, or the second period for another 52 days, if we have a year from our natal day to the next natal day, divided through the 7 periods of the annual cycle. Understanding that and flowing with it is also a plus. Then there is the natural year that begins on or about the spring, the 20th, 21st of March, which also affects us naturally. So don't function in one cycle with the mindset that you're not affected by other cycles. Life can be a little bit more complex than we averagely think. And the more we know the various cycles and work with them, whether they are personal cycles or the annual cycle of natural year or the calendar year, the better we will find certain things happen better for us in terms of our planning and logistics relating thereto. The second question, or next question.
Thank you very much, Amos Wadi Grandmaster. Frater Walter Udo is asking, Wadi Grandmaster, how can we know those negative or positive events that happen to us that are from karma?
Some will be very obvious to us, at least if we have spent our life in reflection periodically and in contemplation occasionally and in meditation on a daily basis. We know that there are certain things we have not done very well or performed poorly in some areas. And we can expect that having sown such seeds, at some point in time, we should reap what we have sown. We also, through reflection through contemplation, through meditation, can heal ourselves, howbeit with humility, that we have put in spirited efforts and been very committed to good thoughts, to good words and good deeds. We have tried to help others. We have tried to do unto others as we like others to do unto us. We have shown loving kindness, exhibited charity, rendered help, and done so cheerfully and with a good disposition, and can certainly not be surprised when we're in good health. I mean, physical health, mental health, emotional health, because it is very healthy, or we become healthier as we radiate good thoughts towards neighbors, about ourselves and about others, as we say good words that will make others happy, feel that life is worth living, and as we bring peace where there is a tendency towards strife, confusion, and chaos. Certainly, people who do such things with joy can know that positive karma is their portion and can enjoy life much better, according to the universal laws in creation, than those who don't care a damn about that. So in other words, to some extent, we can be happy, enjoying good karma, and when once in a while something goes wrong, instead of blaming others or blaming karma, we should examine ourselves. Introspection or self-analysis is a categorical must for a human being on the path of self-mastery or self-improvement. And so obviously, we are sentient beings. We should be able to know if something very bad happens to us, whether perhaps we are not the ones even responsible for what has happened to us. Like I've said in the past, you may not necessarily meticulously trace every bad thing that happens to you to karma, or every good thing that happens to you to karma. But certainly, with the negatives, we should caution ourselves and remain committed to a life of goodness. Next question, please.
Thank you very much, sir. Frata Esiebona is asking, how do we practically apply the phrase of mind assigning dimensions in making resolutions or new beginnings?
Yes, straightforward. What is it you want come 2022? I can assist you. You want improved health. None of us has 100% of good health. So clearly, you want improved health. And physical, mental, emotional, spiritual health is a goal for the Rosicrucian order, for each human being, and for our collective humanity. We want a healthy world, a world that is healthy physically, healthy at the level of the polity, healthy at the level of the economy, healthy at the level of social life. Certainly a world that is free the various negatives of banditry, kidnapping, and so on and so forth. What is it that you want in your workplace or in your business? You want improvement and satisfaction. Have a sense of contentment that you have an honest day's pay for an honest day's work. Have a sense of achievement that you are able, if you are a trader, to sell most or all of what you have bulk purchased with some profit that will enable you make the next purchase. You want to be able to rise up to your responsibilities, pay children's school fees, put food on the table for family, occasionally go out to have a relaxing time, all these type of things. So all what you want for yourself and for your family, in your workplace, at home, or in interpersonal relationships, with others. These are the sort of things you want to hold uppermost in your mind. And so when you are making a New Year resolution, you should have all these at the background of your mind. In the contemplation phase, you want to be able, through introspection or self-analysis, to drop certain type of habits that are not in the interest of your financial well-being, so that you learn to save something for a rainy day, because there are many such rainy days in today's world, in the life of every human being. There are certain habits, as I mentioned in the discourse, that may be detrimental to your health and well-being. Minimize this, and then emphasize those habits that will enable you maintain a higher degree of health, of happiness, of peace of mind, and well-being. These are the things you consider when you want to progress from one rung of the ladder to a higher one in terms of self-improvement or seeing a better you come next year. Next question.
Thank you very much, and most worthy Grandmaster. At this time, we do not have anything, but the is being exchanged, people wishing everyone a happy new year in advance, as well as thanking you for all the inspiring and transforming sessions you've been giving to us.
Thank you. And our next meeting will be perhaps the last Thursday of January, which is the 27th of January, 2022.
Yes.
DB. And there will be a promo before then to indicate what we'll be addressing. And we may also be looking at the last Thursday of February and of March. Then it's most likely going to be as from April next year, because of conclave programs we have in between, that we may commence our usual first day of the month sessions. These sessions are AMOC Award e-forum sessions, and they may be so designated because as we progress, we may have some of our other officers who may constitute a forum and speak to us on various issues. Thank you very much. Once again, I thank all of you who were so kind and generous as to be with me physically or by virtual presence 10 days ago when the children came together, and the grandchildren, of course, on the occasion of my 75th birthday anniversary. And I thank the fratres and sorors, friends and associates who by SMS, text messages, WhatsApp messages, Facebook greetings, so on and so forth, gifts, phone calls, prayed for me and for us, and sent their best thoughts of love and support for the work we do. May it be better for each and all of you in the new year, in your birthdays and the years ahead of you, and may all of us embrace the concept of good thoughts, good words, and good deeds, that we may have a better world, a world of joy, a world of harmony, and a world of cosmic peace profound. So much it be. Thank you.
So much it be. Okay. So at this time, almost for the Grandmaster, I know you have closed or you have rounded off for this session, but there's a question that I think we should take. It just came in. Please, can we do this?
Okay.
Okay. Sarah Angela Amechi is asking, what the Grandmaster, What is the Rosicrucian perspective on Christmas? How can we attune to it?
Oh, this is very good. First of all, I can tell you that if you go by the Rosicrucian chant, "O love that knoweth of no fear," if you go by the Rosicrucian and Martinist approach, you will have a profound mystical meaning for Christmas. It is acknowledged by very many persons that love came down at Christmas. And by that is meant that the birth of avatars, the birth of Jesus the Christ, is significant mystically because of the fact that it reminds us of the gift of the Almighty. Call this factor universal consciousness, divine mind, Allah, supreme being, or the equivalent in any language or religion. God, the love for humanity, to ensure that in spite of the various prophets that have been sent or that have incarnation from time to time over the years, humanity remained in the main recalcitrant, and therefore an exemplary lifestyle was necessary to demonstrate to us how we should live our lives. And if you look at the various religions and the various prophets, be it Buddhism and Hinduism, be it Judaism, be it Christianity or Islam, the golden rule is that we love God with all our heart and strength and mind, and that we do unto others as we like others to do unto us. And persons who have faith and who belong to any and all of these religions know that the significance of the birth and life of any of the proponents and those after whom these religions were formed depicts God's love for humanity, that we follow a certain path in which core values and virtues may be practiced for us to enjoy the mundane plane in which we find ourselves, so that we can regenerate and go back to the source from which we came as spiritual beings who have taken possession of a physical body to have an earthly experience. So the significance of Christmas is the message of love, and we should flow with it through the sharing of gifts and express our gratitude for the joy of living by giving, knowing full well that we can only receive as we are ready and willing to give, by living a life of service, a life of sacrifice, and a life of commitment to making others happy, healthy, and at peace, that we too may be at peace. Thank you very much indeed. This is the very last I can say this evening, and I wish you once again the joys of Christmastide and the Yuletide, which expires on or about the 6th of January with the Feast of the Epiphany. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Most Worthy Grandmaster. It is never a dull moment with you. We are always looking forward to these sessions to tap from your wealth of experience and knowledge. Thank you for an inspiring, a motivating, a rejuvenating session. Thank you so much, sir. Our distinguished fratres, sorors, and friends of our beloved order, as we bring this session to a close, we once again thank you for being here and staying with us this evening, and hope that this has given you a much clearer understanding of a life of new beginnings. Now, because it is the final e-forum session for the year 2021, I haven't been doing this for some time, but I will do this tonight. Permit me to thank you, the Techie and EWA team. Your behind-the-scenes input can never be overemphasized. We appreciate all of you and thank you so very much. On this note, to our members, this is the last Thursday for this calendar year. Do not forget to observe your session. Have a good night, everyone. Happy New Year in advance, and cheers to a life of new beginnings.